This is an institution of divisiveness. It destroys the spirit. It destroys our capacity to be aware of the precious peace that is already there within us and that we can experience in our lives. This global institution was founded during the Italian Renaissance in the 15th century, and here we are 500 years later. In the 15th and 16th century, when capitalism was first developing, they had a different paradigm. They had a different concept of the nature of the world. It was atomistic and it was deterministic, and capitalism adopted that atomism. It said we all compete with one another, right? And that success economically only comes through competition, through free market where everybody's competing with one another. But ladies and gentlemen, we're all one. We're all human beings. And we need to cooperate with one another. We need to love one another. We need to care for one another and care for our precious planet and its future. Capitalism destroys our capacity to do that. We need an economic system for the people of Earth that does not result in the wealth of the Earth moving up to 1% of the population that now owns 50% of the wealth on the Earth. While the bottom 60% of the people of Earth, the people out there in the streets of Kolkata or Mumbai or Chennai or any of the other great cities, they're living in hell. They're living without resources, without adequate food, without sanitation. This is the result of 5 centuries of capitalism. When are we going to learn that we need to cooperate with one another? That's the first institution. But the second institution, almost as invisible to most people, is the system of so-called sovereign nation states. If you look at the photos that have been sent back from satellites of planet Earth, they've been sent back since 1962. Since 1962, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen this blue planet, this blue spheres floating there in space, one home for all of us, one unified world of consciousness and human intelligence everywhere on it. And yet, if you look at the political map of the world, 193 different colors with absolute boundaries. Absolute boundaries. You can't come across our boundary. I can't come to India without a visa, without permission. You can't go to the United States without a permission from them. Absolute boundaries. Building walls between Israel and Palestine. Building walls between Mexico and the United States to keep people out, to separate people. Every nation, India, the land of Mahatma Gandhi, India, the land of Mahatma Gandhi, has nuclear weapons. How could that possibly happen? And it is not the fault of the leaders of India. It's the fault of a system of sovereign nations that divides the world into 193 militarized, mostly militarized entities, each of which is pursuing its own self-interest. This system itself is almost 4 centuries old. 4 centuries, a different paradigm, a paradigm of atomism from centuries ago. But today we understand the holism of the earth. We're all one. And therefore, we need institutions that reflect that oneness. Institutions which reflect an economy designed for everybody to live well on this planet.
Whoa!
And that is why, as My colleagues mentioned earlier today, we're holding today, beginning at 2 o'clock, the 14th session of the Provisional World Parliament, and it's held under the authority of the Constitution for the Federation of Earth. And this document, which is only 30 pages long in a full-size book, this is a little compact edition that we'll hand out at the Parliament. This document is a democratic world parliament and a democratic world government that disarms the nations. The nations join together like states within the United States or states within India. They join together in a federation. They don't disappear, but their boundaries become administrative boundaries, not military boundaries. It joins people together in an economic system that is dedicated to protecting everyone, protecting their rights, their dignity, and protecting our precious environment. It can serve, as Professor Chattopadhyay said, it can serve as a model, a vision of where we want to go, but also it can serve as a blueprint for how we can get there. So that's what I want to leave with you, the thought that I'd like to leave with you today, that we have a blueprint. It's been translated into 23 different languages, including Bengali. And please study it, bring it to your institutions, download it from the internet, it's there for free, and begin thinking how we can join together on this planet. All of us as citizens of the earth first, not citizens of nation states, but citizens of the earth, joining together in an Earth Federation that respects everybody, that ends war and establishes peace and protects our precious planetary environment. Thank you.